Hey guys, how are you doing? It is Catherine, and it is day, I don't even know, 23 of Designer December, although we're in January. And this little guy is the reason that we got a little bit behind with day 23. And I just thought you might like to meet him. Oh, he's going to escape in a minute. Oh my gosh. Hello, Zippy. So this is Zippy. He is a Newfoundland puppy. He is 9 weeks old today. And you're huge, aren't you? You're a big boy. So I thought you guys would like to meet Zippy. He wants to get down. So say bye-bye, Zippy. There he is. Oh, I love him so much. Okay, Zippy, I gotta make a video. Go to Isaac. Oh.
I've encountered a Zippy. Ah, what?
Okay, that was excitement. So, yeah, as I say, we have a new puppy. His name's Zippy, and he's very, very cute, as you can see. But yeah, he held up production slightly on this video, so apologies that it's late. But, guys, we have a really, really good one for you today. We have added everything financial, and I'm going to go through all the additions for you today and show you how you can make just all kinds of financial planner pages, budget pages. We've even got things like mileage, we've got ledger paper. We have everything in here, so I'm going to show you how to do all of that. Okay, so let's jump in and take a look at the new images. So what we've done is, as always, we've put them in folders. You can find them under images on the left-hand side. And these are the new folders that we have added today. So we have money, and that just has lots of pictures of coins, dollar bills, money bags, and even a little piggy bank there. He's pretty cute. We also we've got jars, and I'm going to explain more about jars and how those relate to finance, because they kind of do. But you can actually use these jars for all sorts of designs. They're great for recipes. Like, you can put one here, and then you can put whatever text you want on the label. So we've added jars, and I'm going to talk about that a bit more as we go through the finance images. You can use these, as I say, you can use these for finance, but you can use them for a lot of other things. And we did some fun things. We put some tags, and we put little cookies. So if you want to put cookies in the jar or anything like that, you can have some fun with these. So we've added jars. Now let's get into the meat of this, which is finance. So the really cool thing with a lot of these images in finance, if I go up to the top, is that these are pretty much templates. A lot of them you can use on their own and just literally add a header and you're done. So it's really a template. They're very easy to use. We've also included lots of smaller elements. So of course you can mix and match them and make very, very customized pages as well. So I'll show you a couple of the simpler ones. And in fact, what I can do is just jump straight to my project here. So this page, this is ledger paper. And we have included 3 types of ledger paper. We've got 3-column, 4-column, and 6-column ledger paper. This is 3 columns. This is actually just one image. So you can find it by going to Finance. And if you scroll down a little, we've actually labeled most of the designs in this folder. So you can see here, we've got ledger 3 columns, 4 columns, 6 columns. So if you want to switch that out, let me delete that one. We'll go back to finance. You can just choose 6 columns, for example. So if you want to generate ledger paper, super easy. A lot of professional ledger paper books that I've looked at usually have a couple of lines at the top. You can include information for date, who it was prepared by, for example, or you could always put some notes on it at the top or bottom. And the great thing with this is, you can scale it there to fit in different sizes. I'm working on US letter page at the moment. If you're using sort of weird dimensions, just add more note space, lines, and fill up the space so it looks like a full page. But there you go, that's how you can create ledger paper. It's literally just one image right there. Similarly, we have the debt snowball. So the debt snowball, this is, again, it's just one image right there. So this is pretty much a template on its own. I added an image of coins and I just added a header there. So you can do that with it. Of course, you can change the color of it. You can change the shade. So if you want a very strong black text and lines, you can do that. You can also make it a little lighter. On these designs that have thinner lines on them, we don't recommend going too light. So I would stick to at least probably this shade of grey, the third shade of grey down and above. I wouldn't start going down to this sort of light shade of grey, just because you might find if you're using lines, it might not print as beautifully as you would hope. So stay with the darker colours. I would probably go around there with this debt snowball. So the idea with the debt snowball is that you can track up to 4 debts here, and of course the total amount. And what you do is you put the balance of each debt at the start of the month, how much you paid into it, and what the new balance is. And hopefully by the end of the year, all those balances will be at 0 and you will be debt-free. Now, debt snowball, I know that's a phrase that's been popularized by Dave Ramsey. It does appear to be a trademark, but not by Dave Ramsey. It appears to be by a small company. I don't know how valid that is. I don't know whether they enforce it, but debt snowball is the commonly used term online that I've seen. If you don't feel comfortable using that as a trademark, and trademarks can be risky with Amazon, then come up with another phrase for it. Call it sort of yearly debt payment or debt payoff or something like that. You don't have to use the phrase debt snowball, but I kind of used that just because that's what people tend to recognize it as. So it's a bit like using bullet journal, like bullet journal, Bujo are trademarks. It's like some people don't feel comfortable using them on Amazon, so they find other phrases for them. You might want to do the same with debt snowball. So the really cool thing with what we've done with these is that while tables on their own are kind of boring, like for example, this is a mileage table, and there's not really much you can do with mileage. I mean, this is what you need to track is the date, the odometer, pretty much how many miles you went, where you were going from, where you went to, and any notes on the journey. So this is pretty much a complete mileage log. But what you can do with this is add whatever designs, elements to customize it and make it look unique to your book. So for example, I used this grey image here. This is from the Infographics. So you can really have fun with this. You can experiment with the different designs we've got in here. I like the infographics because I think they give pages a very modern look. I mean, you can use sort of things like this and use them as flourishes and just add your own sort of styles to this. So another thing you can do to customize these is you can also put like watermark designs behind them. So for example, if I went to map icons, I think we've got a picture of a bus. You can make that like really light grey, send it to the back, and you could put that behind your page as well. So you can add these sort of touches to really customize your designs and make them unique to your book. So you have a lot of options there. Now, the finance pages don't have to be boring. This is kind of a fun page that I put in that you could include in a diary for teenagers perhaps, or young women, or anyone who likes to shop, basically. So that would be me. But this is a shopping tracker page. So this is just one image, and it's actually listed under finance as budget. So there it is. You can see there's several different styles. So I used that style there. If you wanted to try a slightly different style, you can do the dark header on that and put that in there. These are pretty fun tables. You can get a unique style for your book. And then what I did was I included one of our characters, and she looks like she's doing some online shopping, and then I threw some dollar bills in along the side. So you have a lot of ways of customizing these to make them not as stuffy as they are sometimes when you look at just plain budget pages, which can just be tables. You can add a bit more context to them, niche them to the style of your book, and just make them look a little bit more interesting. You can also create budget pages with these tables. So for example, I did a monthly budget here, and what I did was I just used 5 of these tables, and these are listed in finance under income/expenses. There they are. And again, there's different styles. You can do sort of rounded boxes. You can have no frames around them there, or you can use these ones, which are just simple tables. And then what I did was I just added my own headers to them, and I pulled these images. These were from motifs, which you'll find under images there. Those are from motifs, and these ones are from borders. And I think that's really pretty. I think it has a fun style to it and would work really well in a sort of household planner, a domestic planner, family planner, those kind of things. So, oh, and also I put these little totals on here, and these are actually images or elements, I should say, as well. At the bottom of all these designs in finance, you can find, scroll down to the bottom, you can see we put all these little tabs in here. So this makes it really easy to just stick a total box onto your page. So I just used the month and the total expenses on this one. Now, I promised I'd get back to you on jars. So we mentioned that we had a folder full of jars. Well, this one's actually pre-made. This is a jar and it has coins inside. So you can see that's one image there. And then what I did was I stuck a label on the jar and I wrote savings on it. So this is one element, this is one element, and then this is just text. I think people really like these sort of metaphorical visual elements in their books, because what you can do with this is color it. So each day, I think there's so there's 3 weeks worth of savings in here. So you'd be able to color in each of these coins each day that you save $5 or $10 or however much it is you want to save. And what you can do is actually add your own text here. So you could explain it and say, if I drag this up here, you could be like, save $10 a day. And at the end of it, you'd have $210. So you can really customize these how you want. I also had some fun with this. I put a little bar along the bottom with icons so you can say what you're saving for. So if you're saving for a holiday, an engagement ring, to go to a show, a gift, car, school, a nice night out with drinks, or you just want to save the cash, you can just circle those. And I'm sure you can come up with your own sort of ideas for this, your own way of using these. This isn't the most beautiful design in the world, but it kind of shows you how you can use these. And of course, as I say, if you go to jars, you can see there's actually a lot of ways to customize these. So we have empty jars all made. We have jars with different styles, sort of fat jars, tall, skinny jars. You've got labels that you can put on them. You've got tags. And of course, you can use all these elements on their own. They can be used for all kinds of things. So there you go. You can add these to whatever other designs you want to use them for. These would make great luggage labels. So for example, what you could do is something like this. If we go to pages, we go to a blank page, and we go to jars, you could easily just use these labels on their own. Like you could flip them around and maybe put several of them. And if we just copy that like that, you could have a page of places you want to go on holiday, and you could fill out each of these labels with the destination you want to go to on vacation or on holiday. So there's a lot of fun ways to use these images. Another kind of metaphor that people like to use for saving is using thermometers, and I see those a lot on printables, on various pages, or I've seen in journals. And you can use thermometers to really measure anything. So I had fun with this one. I made this a car payoff. So I guess the idea is that you have a car that's worth $7,500. You still owe $7,500 on your car payment. What you can do here is color or draw a space on your thermometer each time you put $500 into the payment. So by the time you filled up the thermometer, you will have paid off the car. And you can add to this, I didn't bother, but you can go in and just add lines if you want to give people spaces to color. So I've added the first line. You can easily just copy and paste this. And so on. And then when you get to the end, what you do is you just make sure they're all aligned the same. And you can do distribute evenly and just make sure that they all line up properly in the thermometer. So I've just kind of started there. You can, of course, customize this however you want. And you can also change the thickness of the lines. So you can make it look a little bit different if you want to. You can add thicker lines. Again, if you want to just move things around a little bit, you can just use the arrow keys. That's what I'm doing there. Just for fine tuning, you can use the arrow keys. So that's a really fun way to create a colorable thermometer. And you can use this for any kind of savings. So I put a little car icon at the bottom, but of course you can have a holiday payoff, you can have medical bills, student, loans, anything like that. So these are hopefully very flexible elements, images that you can use. I did something fun here as well. I said how we will celebrate. So I put a box here with rounded corners, made it grey, and I used a little element there that's actually from the magic elements that we did when we did the tarot cards. I drew a little table here so you can actually write the date you made the payments. So this is a little bit more complex than some pages are. I know some people just literally use the thermometer on its own. The beauty of this, the beauty of the Tangent Templates Interior Designer, is that you can create very custom pages. Like, we made it very easy to just mix and match these elements, put them together, and create a page that's completely unique to you and your book. So this is another design that we've pretty much done for you. It's like a ready-to-use template. This is $1,000 in 30 days. So what's fun about this is that it gives you $30 bills, and each one has an amount on of currency. And there's 5 with $10, 5 with $15, and the most expensive ones, or the highest value ones, are $60. And these basically add up to $1,000. So I put some instructions on this. This is your route to $1,000. Color one bill a day and put that amount aside. So each day you would color one of these to represent how much you saved that day, whether it was $10, $60, or somewhere in between. So you'd color one of these each day, put that amount aside, and at the end of the month you have $1,000. And again, I used this little icon bar that I made to circle what you are saving for. And you can see these are all individual icons that I found in the map icons folder, of which there are tons of icons you can choose from. So if you don't want to save up for wine or school fees, you can put medical in there. You can put a pony. Like, who wouldn't save up for a pony? Really, you can customize this for any kind of book. And think about this. If you're making a book, say, about mountaineering or learning to play the guitar, you could put a page in your book about learning to play the guitar where you can save up for a new guitar. That would be pretty cool. A lot of ways you can use these and niche these for your books if you just think a little bit outside the box with this. So if you're not quite high rolling enough for $1,000 in 30 days, I added another variation of this. Actually, let me go to a blank page. We added another variation, and if I scroll down a bit, you'll see it. Okay, we also added a $150 in 30 days. So the idea with this one is that you just save $5 a day. And so each day you would color these sequentially. So this is a little bit different from the $1,000 where you just color whichever amount it is. With this one, these are sequential from $5, $10, $15, $20. The idea is that you just save $5 a day, and at the end of the month you have $150. Yay! So there's a lot of different options you have here for creating savings pages. And what's really nice is you can mix these ideas into regular planners. So for example, this is kind of a weekly planner page that I created, and you can see it has a schedule, weekly tasks, it has a habit tracker so you can track all the good habits you've had each day. And of course, your person who's using this will write in the habits they want to track. Or if your book is very curated, you could write in the habits for them. So for example, if you're teaching, I don't know, yoga, you could say, okay, you could do your sun salute, your downward dog. Okay, that's the extent of my yoga. I don't know. You could write your other yoga poses in there, and then people can color them in to say they did those each day. Or you can make these general tasks like drink water, exercise, meditate, go for a walk, whatever healthy things you want people to do. So I included a habit tracker, a schedule, goals, notes, tasks, and then this bar, I had some fun with this. So each little piggy, if I just move that to the back, the box to the back so I can click the piggies, I used the piggy bank images in the money folder, and I made 7 of those. I did make them all the same size. So if you select 2 objects like that, or more objects, you can do make equal width and height. And then I distributed them out. So we've got a little row of piggies. And then I added this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, these headers. Those actually came from the tables folder. So if you look at the tables that we have, a lot of these mix really, really well with finances. So you can put notes in, you can put check boxes, and of course you can add whatever headers you want. You can use these Monday to Friday pages as savings so that when people save something, they can use a checkbox. Like, you have a lot of different ways to use those particular images alongside the finance ones. And these Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these are actually the images I used here. I just made them really, really small. So the idea with this is you could color it in each day that you save some money, or you can just write the amount on the piggies. So that's a sort of fun design for tracking your savings and mixing that in with regular planner pages. Now, you can also get really, really nichey with these designs. Like, a lot of financial planners really, really dull, and they are just focused on finances. Now, I had this thought. I thought, what about if you did a yearly overview? So again, this table is just one element. You can just drop it onto your page. And I'm sure that actually most people, in sort of most books, you would see a yearly overview like this. This would just take up the whole page. And that's totally okay to do that. A lot of these big tables that we've designed are fine to just sort of fill up the whole page with. So here's our yearly overview. And of course, as I say, you can just drag this out and fill up a whole page with this and just say yearly overview. Stick that at the back of your planner and you are done. But I think it's really fun to try and niche these and to use them for sort of different styles of books. So what I did with this one, I made a tarot page so that at the beginning of the year, you can actually fill out your yearly overview or start filling out your yearly overview. And you can do a financial future tarot reading. So you can kind of predict your financial future or get some advice on your financial future over the year. And then each month, as you fill in these totals, you can kind of see how well that matches up with your predictions and your advice that you gave yourself using the tarot cards. So you can really get quite experimental with these. Like, you can have spiritual approaches to finance. You could mix these with some of the vintage images that we have to have very sort of classic designs. You can mix them with the infographics to get very modern designs. This page here uses some of the vintage flourish designs. There they are. You can see this is the design I used here, was this little swirly image there. But there's a lot of fun designs you can use here. I like this one. It kind of looks like a bee. You could put this at the bottom here. Instead, what I did, I used a motivational quote and I used the little piggies there to log daily savings. So this is a budget page. I added income there, expenses. It's all done for you. You've just literally got to drop these boxes onto the page. So you've got income, expenses, planned actual difference, and your totals there. Plus, I mixed it with daily savings to make it a sort of more interesting page. So you can put anything you want on these pages. You can put beautiful images, flourishes like these. You can put little piggies and piggy banks and money bags. And of course, you can put things like inspirational quotes. So a lot of ways to make these pages your own. Like, these tables are basic tables that you can just add decorations to. So we created the boring tables for you. You can customize them, add your own images and designs, and have a lot of fun with those. A few more designs that we've added here. I know that net worth is a pretty popular thing for people to track at the moment. And so I did a net worth page here where you have your assets, your liabilities, and then at the bottom you've got the at a glance. So you can track for each quarter sort of how much cash, debt, savings. So at the start of the year, you can figure out your total net worth. And then as the quarter goes by, you can go and track this information here. That's kind of a nice thing that you could put at the back of a planner or a calendar, a diary. Another design that you've got there. And this is a very simple budget here. I've done income here. So this is one table for income. And then I've added expenses tables here. So this is just 5 tables with headers. I put a fun infographic in there. I've got sort of swirly text. You can play with your designs here to get it to look how you want it to look. This is how you can make just a very simple budget here. I know a popular buzzword in budgeting is zero-based budgeting, and the idea of that is you track all your income at the beginning and then you take everything away from that, and at the end of the month you should be able to account for everything and reach zero. So this is a good way to do zero-based budgeting, that you start with sources of income and then you add in these other things, all the expenses there, and then hopefully at the end you reach zero. So you've accounted for everything. So that's another way you can do budgeting. What we've tried to do with this is really just give you everything you need to create simple, easy to use, easy to understand financial pages. We also put in savings. This is a very simple table that you can use for savings. There's two tables here. One's 1 to 26, one's 27 to 52. So you can log a whole year's worth of savings. And this is such a great way to see at a glance just how much you've saved. Now, I know that some people also like to add checkboxes to these, just to say, look, I saved this much. So we helped you out a little bit here. And if we go back to finances, and we go down to the bottom, you can see there's several styles of checkbox that you can use with these. Whoops, I moved that around. Send back. Yeah, if you have a problem grabbing anything in this, you can just always do send back and you'll be able to get the element that you want to use. So let's make this a bit bigger. There we go. So if you want to add checkboxes, circles, something for people to tick when they've made their savings, we've done that for you. You can put them alongside the table like that, or you can put them inside the table there. So you just got to jiggle them around to make sure that they fit in the space that you want them to fit in. So you can add your own checkboxes to that as well. And of course I can do that on the other side by just copying and pasting that. So that's a very basic weekly savings design. Of course you can add whatever images you want to make it a little bit more colorful, creative, interesting. You could bring these into the middle a little bit and then that gives you border space to work with. So if you wanted to, you can put like pretty borders down the side. If I go down to the bottom, there's some new borders there which are kind of fun to use. So you can add your border like that. So you can really make these as creative, as interesting as you want to make them. Or of course you can have them very simple, plain as is. So there we go. There's a whole bunch of different financial trackers in here, lots of ways of using these, and there's quite a lot in here that I haven't actually gone through just because there is so much in there. But I hope you can experiment with these. Don't be afraid to mix and match them with our other images. A lot of these go really well together. I love the vintage designs. We have all these vintage flourishes and illustrations. Those go really, really well with pages that you want to make look kind of classic. And often you don't have to get really complex with these. Just adding a flourish at the bottom can be enough to make a page look really, really classy, like it's a really nice notebook. So you don't have to go crazy with images. Sometimes just adding something like that to a design can really make it look really classy and really nice. Similarly, use the infographics, like really experiment with the infographics, which are here, because some of these go really, really well with financial pages, especially things like the hexagons, or I think that's an octagon actually. You can add different elements that you want to track. So you can make a page with this octagon. In fact, if I start a new page, you can use this octagon, make it huge, and have all the different things you want to save for. You could write your goals in there. So you could be like, okay, I want to pay off my house debt, I want to pay off my car debt. And this would make a great sort of first page in your planner to say, okay, these are my big picture goals, and you could write them into here. And then, of course, use the more detailed pages to explain how you're going to do that, or to break down how you're going to save for those things. So get creative with these, have a lot of fun with them, mix and match them with all the other images we've got, and I hope you really enjoy these financial pages. We've got one more day to go of Designer December. We will be putting that out in the next few days, so look out for that. And thank you for following this through Designer December. Sorry we were a bit late with day 23, but hopefully you'll agree that it was worth the wait. There's a lot of images here, and as I say, they're basically templates. You can just stick the image on the page and then just add whatever customization and decoration you want to it. All right, have a good one, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Good, Zippy.